The Edmonton Elks travel to the BC Lions, where these two teams faced off twice in 2022, with the home side coming out on top in both games by a combined score of 105-29. That's what we call a shellacking, boys. This will mark the first time the Lions wear their new home uniforms, and also the first time JC has ever listened to LL Cool J's music. The BC Lions are favored by 6.5 points. Do you think they can cover that spread against Edmonton?
I do. It's a massive spread, but recent history is in their favor. You mentioned that home margin there. I'm going to extend it out. The last 4 games that BC has played Edmonton, BC has won by a combined score of, get this, 179-53. I think the smallest margin of victory there was 16 points. That's good enough for a cover here. Now, most of those games, Nathan Rourke was under center, but Vernon Adams Jr. also won their last matchup by 16 points. He's looked good so far with the team this year. I trust BC to come out on top over an Edmonton team that frankly did not impress me in week 1.
The fact that JC has never heard LL Cool J's music is something like a phenomenon, But this game to me is not a phenomenon. If you're going to give me that many points with an upset Chris Jones and Taylor Cornelius, who I think at this point, yes, it's early, and I said we needed to have some of the other side of the story earlier in the podcast about this, but I think he's playing for his job, fellas. If he goes out and has another terrible performance without Geno Lewis taking footballs off the top of defensive back heads for 100-yard touchdowns, then you got to talk about mixing it up at the quarterback position. So I'm taking a motivated Edmonton Elks squad that also knows that they went in there last year. Yes, it was Nathan Rourke, and got whooped a couple times by the BC Lions. So I'll take the points. I don't love it, but early in the season, I think that's the prudent play in the CFL.
I'm going to go with Dunk here. I think that the Edmonton Elks, as much as we talked about how much the offense struggled, their defense looked unbelievably improved from last season. They finally got the personnel locked down. Luchez Purifoy holding down the back end. AC Leonard coming off the edge. Jake Serezna making the transition from DT to playing on the edge on the other side. That is a very formidable duo. They like their interior guys there as well. I'm taking Edmonton against the spread, BC to win, solely because I don't think the BC Lions are going to put up a ton of points here, and I think that the Elks can keep it within a touchdown.